You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now
listen, can you tell me what the date is of your performance at the Rosebud Hotel?
No, that's not
It's
important.
July 19th, is it? Can you look in your diary? Because I'm coming. It's just down the road.
You're coming?
Yeah, well, who are you got lined
Your
up?
Hope Rex comes.
Well, who else is lined up for this show? Because I want to be entertained.
Sorry, I'm just getting the diary.
Okay.
Ivan, you can take over the microphone there. Now, Don. I'll tell you, it's not important when it is.
It is. Well, of course it's important. If you don't turn up, I'll turn up on a Wednesday night and you won't be there.
It's on Rosebud. It's on the 13th of July.
13th of July, Rosebud Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who else is doing it, but I'm doing it. And now, I tell you, you can all join in here. How can governments or councils try and control your life about how many speed bumps do they put into normal roads these days so that you have to slow down to
Depends
drive?
on where you are.
No, Don.
And on what road.
Well, so it's suddenly creeping in. This is their way to slow cars down.
Where are they?
So from here,
Yes.
where we are, to drive down this
For a
road.
coffee?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that stops.
There's 5 of them.
That's right, because they're around a factory complex and you don't want people speeding around the factory complex.
Well, how about you put...
On the main thoroughfare, there are none.
Oh, well, they don't have them on freeways.
Right, well, that's
But
where you...
No, there's every service road and every little minor road. So you say it's to slow people down. How about they just put a permanent speed camera up? That'll slow people down.
No. Put
No,
the speed bump.
You rip your sump off your car. You've got to slow.
Yeah, because you've got your... It's lowered, your
It's
car.
not lowered, Don. It's not lowered. It's a normal sedan. And you've got to slow down, and then you've got to accelerate off. You use more fuel. It is ridiculous.
More fuel by slowing down.
It's accelerating. Accelerating. When you push your foot on the accelerator, it uses
to go
fuel.
over the speed bump?
Once you slow down and then get back to normal speed and then slow down again, there's 5 of them on the way down here.
Buy one of those electric cars that turn off. Those electric cars, you know, that they're dual fuel, electricity and...
Hybrids.
Hybrid, are they? Hybrid.
Yeah, well, 95% of the population haven't got
Listen,
hybrid
do you watch...
cars.
Can we just change the subject?
People trying to control your lives. They'll have speed bumps on the freeway soon.
Now, listen, can just change the subject. Could one of you or 3 of you tell me, or 4 of you tell me, I watch the news and occasionally a chap comes up on the news. His name is Daniel Bowen from the Public Transport Users Association.
Yes.
Have you seen him?
No.
And can you tell me what the Public Transport Users Association is all about, whether they're relevant, whether they've got any teeth? Why do they do takes of this
Well, they've
group?
obviously got no teeth because the government has put up the Mikey fare for one day to $10. They're telling you not to use your car, but they've put the fee up $10 a day to use a Mikey card. It's gone up.
Now, hang on, for the train.
For anything that you use the Mikey for. Trams.
Yeah, you're right.
$10 a day. It's gone.
Hang on, I'm not into public transport. You've got to explain all this.
They're trying to get people to use public transport, and yet
Which is a good idea.
Yes, and they've put the fee up to $10 a day.
Oh, really?
Yes,
but hang on, around the city, somebody was telling me it's no charge.
Yes, in the CBD.
So you people are doing well.
Yeah, in the CBD.
Yeah, that's great. Keep cars out of the city.
Why do you want to keep cars out of the city?
Well, the roads are so narrow in the city. Where do you park?
Because they've narrowed them down to one lane for the bikes.
Those bloody
Why
bikes.
do you want to keep cars out of the city? Don't you want to have a bustling metropolis where people come into the city in their cars from out the suburbs?
No.
Of course you do.
You've got to find somewhere to park them.
Well, that's different, Don. If you want to bring your car in and pay $60 a day to park it in a Wilson car park...
We've been conditioned to drive cars. If you go to London, the public transport is terrific there.
We are conditioned to drive cars because if you live at Doncaster, it takes you an hour to drive. You're too far away from the CBD. In London, you could drive... By the time you drive to Doncaster in Europe, you'd go through 3 countries. That's why.
Oh no. Well, anyway, our
no,
public.
what?
It's not as. They shouldn't have ripped up certain lines. They didn't have foresight, like the outer circle line and whatever else. Back in, it was well planned once upon a time, but progress. They thought they'd rip up a few lines, but.
Well, on one hand, you got Sally Cap on saying we want everyone back into the city, want all the workers back, and then on the other hand, you've got the public transport. I think on the western side, that's all been taken out for all the trains and all that. Everyone has to come in on buses.
Yeah,
that's where I saw the guy from this Public Transport Users Association making a comment on that.
And they say, you have to add another hour onto your day to come out from, I think, maybe Geelong, possibly. So.
Sally Cap's resigning as the Lord Mayor.
She should clean up the city. The city is an absolute disgrace.
Yes,
those buildings.
We keep saying this.
Beg your pardon?
We keep saying this.
They should get
Graffiti,
a high-pressure
rubbish.
cleaner and clean all the facades of the buildings.
No, they're worried
in the
about bike lanes and equity and diversity and all that bullshit, and instead of actually doing something that pleases the general populace of the people who live in the CBD.
Why would you come to the CBD? Yeah, once upon a time it was a place to shop because all the fashion, all the big retailers were in one place in the city. Why do you go to the city now?
Because
What's the attraction?
Government closed it down for 2 years and it became a ghost town.
Prior to that, I think it was in a little bit of trouble.
Online shopping, Don.
Well, yes, and the shopping
Amazon.
centres in the suburban areas, the big shopping centres.
Well, if you venture into the city, Don, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, it's chockers. Friday, Monday, and the weekends, it's almost a little bit like a ghost town. So if you needed to book a restaurant, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll need a booking. Mondays, Fridays, just walk up.
Is it? I went by train there a few years ago. It was a case of spot the Aussie. Is there a lot of
spot the Aussie?
Yes.
Well, they might all be Australians, Don.
Well, they could be too.
Well, they'll all be Australians if they're naturalised. They are
a lot
us.
Of them
we are them. This is my point about the voice. This is we are all Australians. If we are here and we're naturalised, even if you're not. But if you're naturalised, you are by definition an Australian.
So
why do we go on with all this bloody...
Is the city a place for where people live now?
A melting
the CBD
pot.
I'm talking about.
What? Is it a place?
The CBD a place where people live now? It used to be offices and a place of work. Has the demographic changed?
Well, but there's plenty of apartments in the city now, yes. But that's always been that.
No, it hasn't.
Of course there has.
I worked in the city as a youngster.
Oh, yeah, in the 60s.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Don, this is...
And I'm asking, has it changed?
50 years on, Don. You used to ride a horse and cart into the city. Now you drive a car.
I rode it through Donvale.
Hey? No, Don. We're all Australians. This is my absolute point about this nonsense we carry on with. We're all Australians, whether you come from... It doesn't matter where you come from.
And what about that lady getting up and saying how the police, over COVID, went after people in the western suburbs of colour?
What are they? Yeah, there's a term they
Muslims?
use. No.
No.
What's the term? I forget what.
Well, anyway,
racial profiling.
Yeah.
What a load of rubbish, because if you go back to when the COVID was at its peak, it was those people who were really kicking back, and COVID was prevalent in the western and northern suburbs of Melbourne. And now they've brought out a reply, using Ivan's word, racially profiling. What a load of rubbish!
No, they just singled out the people who were taking no notice, didn't they? And that's
if you have a look at, if you have
that's just naming people for doing the wrong thing.
And if you break the report down, you see that over 50-60% were Caucasian people who were fined. Yeah. What a load of
that's the same premise as if you knock someone from another race, you're a racist. That not at all. You're just saying that someone who happens to be from another race has done something wrong and you criticise them. Nothing to do with racism, Don. But this is the equity, diversity, and inclusion that we live in.
Did you see Damien Hardwick, the former coach of Richmond's, come out and says he wants to coach again? Well, didn't he give it away 4 weeks ago and he wants to coach again? Now, where's mental toughness? If you're going bad, don't you hang in Don't you ask the players? You
Yes.
ask the players to be mentally tough. How can you get out of one gig and go to another because you're mentally drained?
Yes, I don't understand that
I
myself,
do
Don.
not understand it at all.
And mind you, he might get a gig at the West Coast Eagles, who kicked a goal.
No, they can't. If you read what was reported...
Didn't they kick a goal in the game?
No, I
They
think they
remind
kicked
me-
3 goals.
Someone said they kicked 1 goal.
They
Is that
remind me
right?
of Fitzroy in our day. Remember Fitzroy in our day?
So they kicked 3 goals, did they?
I think they might have kicked five goals for the whole game.
No, they said they kicked 1 goal for the game. Is that someone told me that? Is that not right?
They kicked more than 1, I think.
I know Sydney kicked, 205 points against 30-odd points.
Why did this person say they kicked 1
I
goal?
tried to look at the football the other night. I think it was the St Kilda game. They had the cameras in prior to the game, and they're all hugging. The players are actually hugging one another and smiling before they went out onto the ground. I mean, God, I can't relate to that because
Oh, no.
What did you smile and hug your teammates before you went out on the ground?
No, he wouldn't have.
Hey?
No, he'd give him a backhander.
No.
Now, in your
What are
day,
you looking?
Dom,
I'm speaking to you. Hey,
Well, Peter has taken over from the Rocket, or from Ivan.
oh, good.
Thank heavens. What are you
You'll
showing me,
create a
Peter?
monster.
Please speak into the microphone, please.
I think they were 5 goals for
What did the
for
bloke,
West Coast.
That bloke told me that they kicked 1 goal for the game. Oh no!
After half time.
No. This bloke from Perth, Mouse. He said the West Coast kicked 1 goal against Essendon in 1989, and they went on 2 years later to win a grand final. I'm sorry, I've misrepresented. He said West Coast kicked 1 goal against Essendon in 1989, and 2 years later they were premiers. So he was saying that it's just transitory bad form, Don. Thank
So-
you, Peter.
it could be the Eagles have a premiership in about 2 years.
That was the point of his. Now, can you believe the media? This is why it's cringeworthy. You remember when Mr. Stewart hit Jeremy Cameron friendly fire? He was from the same club and he knocked him down. Remember?
Gary Rowan.
No.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what Stewart plays for Geelong, doesn't he?
Yeah, back pocket.
And he collided with his
That
team.
was Gary Rowan.
He collided with Jeremy Cameron, didn't he?
Gary Rowan.
Was it? He
Yes.
didn't collide with Jeremy Cameron.
Gary Rowan collided with Jeremy Cameron.
It wasn't Stewart.
No.
I'm sorry, I'll take that back.
And
Well,
if you look at the incident, how Gary Rowan even went near Cameron is... These guys have got no self-awareness.
They play for the same side, do they?
Yes.
Right. So, all right. Well, I'll take Mr. Stewart out of it. Mr. Rowan.
Rowan.
The media said that he should be suspended should be fined.
Well,
or
it's an interesting and it's a very good argument, isn't it? Because
No.
What do you mean?
What, friendly fire when you
Hang on.
accidentally hit your
No,
own
the thing
opponent?
is concussion.
Own-
Concussion.
oh,
So they're
he-
trying to eliminate head-high tackles. It's a very good point they made,
No,
whoever
it's
did
not.
make
It's
it.
a ridiculous-
No, it's not. What's the difference between your opponent and your teammate doing it? They both the same result. Cameron was taken off the ground, concussed.
Yes, he was, but
So
he wasn't.
if you litigate against the AFL, which they're trying to do,
No, it's completely different.
No,
he
it's not,
wasn't
mate.
going for the ball
No.
with a view to trying to get
Who?
it off his teammate,
who?
Rowan.
Rowan wasn't going for the ball.
I said he wasn't. That's what I said. He wasn't going for the ball with a view to getting it off an opponent. He wasn't trying to get the ball off his teammate. It was an absolute accident. Why would he try and collide with him? If he was an opponent and he was trying to get the ball and he made a careless tackle, that's a different point. Not if it's friendly fire, Don.
No.
Oh,
Anyway,
dude,
we look at things differently.
how
I just
ca- how
don't think
much can you
players
dumb
today
down the game?
have any awareness because of the way they've been
because-
brought up and taught
because
how to play
Cameron-
football.
You talk about awareness. Cameron wouldn't think his teammate
Well,
is going
nobody.
to come through and
That's
knock him
right.
down.
From the side.
But do you think they've lost skills over the
I
last
said
few years?
awareness because of the way they've been brought up and taught. Now,
Is that-
we used to play kick to kick in the schoolyard and it'd be all in at recess trying to mark long kicks. There'd be a pack flying of fellows, one football, and you'd be trying to take screamers, so you'd be aware of where people are coming because they'd stick knees into your back, you get hurt.
Punch in the back of the head.
And you had to still get up and go for the mark and whatever else. And so you became aware of where people were coming from. These guys don't play kick to kick like we used to, and they're not aware. I see it all the time on the ground. They lack awareness.
Right, Don. Can I read this? Go on, what?
Did I tell you about St Kilda prior to the game? How they
hugged and kissed and shook hands.
Well, they were smiling.
Held hands and see if they could contact the living, like a seance.
I turned it off.
I know, but it's come just
Conjure up the
prissy little,
1966
prissy
team or
little.
something.
Get out there and stop all that shit. False bravado. Can I read you this out, Don? I want your opinion on this, please. And now this is serious. A cancer-stricken mother was bludgeoned to death live on Skype. So the bloke who bludgeoned his grandmother to death filmed it while it was happening on Skype. No, this is
only happened in America?
No, it happened here. And the excuse was, this was the reason. He had no chance in life. His mum was a heroin junkie and he was let down by the system. So that is carte blanche for the fact that he bludgeoned his grandmother to death live on Skype and he was let down by the system. Wow. Can't we sheet a whole lot of things that happen just on people not taking responsibility?
So what was the outcome?
Well, I'm I don't know what the outcome was, so let me just see if I can read on. Read on.
I'm sure he'll blame everyone.
Well, they have blamed the fact that his mother wasn't in good nick and he'd been let down by the system. You'd have to be let down by the system a lot to bludgeon your grandmother to death live on Skype, wouldn't you? But
it's interesting, isn't it? Some of these people, they all got mental illness, or they go back and blame something that happened in the past when they go to court. The solicitor barrister gets up and gives a reason why they should have a lenient, or the court be more lenient on them. Here
is what it said. Here's what it said. Get down. It said, "We understand he is also a victim." This is the bloke who bludgeoned his grandmother to death. What he did was horrid. It was wrong, but let's look deeper into why he did it. Well, that's reason. Let's just look into why he actually got the Skype machine out and filmed his
maybe someone let his car
bludgeoning his grandmother to death. So he'll probably just get a bond or something. Just
community service.
Just because he's had a tough
life. Why don't
life.
they have what is it, corporal punishment anymore?
Well, I'd take the cane to him, belt the shit out of him, Ivan. That's corporal punishment, Don. Anyhow,
I watched. I came in yesterday from work, and I just happened to.
Very good, man. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. Try to wake me up.
No, not at all.
It's a pity Fiona's gone, but I'd like to discuss.
Fiona's here.
Well, she's not on mic.
We'll yell out something to her and she can call out her
Fiona, I watched the races yesterday from Ballarat.
Yes, Don.
And do you know there was a Skewbald thoroughbred racing?
Really?
Now, I have never seen...
Phoebe's saying really. I'll translate what she's saying. Phoebe's reply was, really?
Now, a Skewbald, for those people who don't know, is a two-coloured horse.
That's a piebald.
No, piebald is black and white.
Well, that's two colours.
I said Skewbald, which is brown and white, chestnut, or any other colour and white.
Go on
now,
then.
piebald is
what do you
black
want to
and
know
white.
from Phoebe?
Now, I wanted to chew the fat with Phoebe because she's into horses. She was into polo. She
ask her
is
a
a horse
question.
rider. Her
I'll
mother
give the
was
answer.
as well. Now, have you ever seen a thoroughbred Skewbald before, Fiona?
Fiona's thinking about this. She's about to give an answer.
Her brain is really ticking over.
Did you give an answer then?
Not on the racetracks.
Not on the racetrack. Not on the racetrack, she said.
And you wouldn't have seen it off the track, a thoroughbred Skewbald. It's called...
Don, I don't know that this topic is very sensible. I'm just translating what Phoebe says because
Well,
no one can
this
hear
is
her.
remarkable. A two-coloured
Don, she
thoroughbred
said.
horse. Usually they're solid in colour.
I mean,
they're chestnut, black, brown,
on.
grey, but not
Give me a chance.
two-coloured.
Phoebe?
It's called Splash of Paint, the horse.
Splash of Paint.
It came last.
How did it run, Phoebe said?
It came last.
Right. Is that because it was a splash of paint?
Well, I don't think it's any good. I think it was the second run. But
What a
anyway,
topic this
to
is.
see a Skewball or a two-coloured horse,
A
it's a
piebald.
thoroughbred. But what would I say, a Skewball?
Yeah, Sky.
And you've got to take your... And the other thing I was thinking was
You
the
could well
cold
be a
is-
skew ball yourself, Don, the way this is going. You could be skew balled.
What, two-coloured?
It's fucking no colour. You're so bland. You're so bland and austere and clinical
And again,
boring.
I've got to take my hat off to the jockeys. It was freezing at
What about the
Ballarat.
one snorting the coke? How's he going, Mr. Carr?
Oh,
Wasn't it Jamie Carr?
Well, we don't know if she was. There was one of these
it's
photos
Jamie Carr,
on
a
social...
man, a woman.
It's a woman.
Yeah.
We tried to get her on
Yeah,
the
it's-
podcast,
yeah.
if you remember.
identifies as a woman.
Well, really? Was it alleged she was doing the coke?
Well, no, there was just a photograph. We don't know what she was doing.
No, Don, I'm not being mischievous or deliberately salacious. Was there a photograph of someone with a straw up their hooter?
No, just a plate.
just the card preparing
All right.
it. Okay,
Good. Well, that's-
preparing a line.
Yes, preparing a line,
Yes.
but not actually
No.
film doing it.
No.
Well, that could be any that.
That's
you
exactly
can't
what
hang
I'm
someone
saying.
for that.
It could have been a little bit of flour.
And it could have been just being
Bit of
provocative,
salt.
pretending you were
Bit
doing
they were
it.
at a restaurant. It could have been salt on
Salt,
the
geez,
table.
that'd give your nose a nice touch up if you snorted salt up your hooter.
Would it?
Well, I
Have
reckon.
you tried
wouldn't
it?
If I tried snorting
Yeah,
salt
salt.
up my hooter, why
Yeah.
would I have tried that, Don?
Well, you just said.
Why would I have tried- why would I have-
The way you were talking with authority, I thought, geez, you've tried this.
It's like, why would I have tried snorting
Well, you
salt
might
up?
have got
I'm
it
just
mistaken
saying it's
for
a
Coke.
fairly abrasive. What did she say then, Don?
You might have got it.
What did you say, Don? Don't think that I can't take action against you just for throwing away a line on this podcast. I could actually go, yeah, what did you say then? Don? Why would I bother?
I think you could have got your substances mixed up.
What, I thought it was coke. I
Well,
was
you
snorting.
thought it might have been Coke, but you might have done salt.
Oh, so someone switched the coke and
No,
put salt down there.
you might have been in a state of confusion.
What, and gone and got the Saxon salt
Well, you might
out
have,
of the
you
cupboard?
went to the cupboard, you could have picked out a self-raising flour,
Oh,
salt,
so if-
anything at all, as long as it was on
Oh,
the table.
yeah. So if I was taking coke, I'd keep it in the cupboard where the foodstuffs
Well,
are.
I don't
would
know where you...
I'd have it under lock and key, so people like you couldn't binge it. Oh, gee. Anyhow, I sold people. I don't like coke. I didn't.
You
mind,
don't? Like, you tried it?
I didn't mind the smell of it.
Oh, right. What's it got, an odour?
Oh, you fool! That is a joke, Don. That is a joke. You say, I don't like coke, but I didn't mind the smell of it, because that's what you do. You smell it. You take it up through your uter. Now, Peter doesn't have any idea what we're talking about.
That's all right, he'll learn. He'll pick it up. Oh,
No, he won't. Now,
jeez, I thought that bloke getting out of the car was Rex.
I thought it was because there's a dog.
Hang on.
that's Loco.
It's Loco.
John Loco. Now, they're coming in for the podcast. Now, Don, we're doing this. Did you know this is Forbes? Have you ever heard of Forbes?
Forbes, the business
Yes.
magazine.
They have released the top 40 cities in the world. This is, you can Google
Melbourne
this.
wouldn't be up there.
Who?
Melbourne.
Number one is Vienna. Number one is Vienna.
Haven't been there.
Number two
Yes.
is Copenhagen.
Okay.
Have you been there?
No.
Number three,
What?
Melbourne.
Bullshit.
Why would I say that, Don? Why?
Prague is better than Melbourne.
Don, this
Paris,
is Don.
London.
This is Forbes. This is Forbes giving a rundown of why these cities are rated. It went Vienna, Copenhagen, Melbourne, and Sydney was fourth.
Oh.
And the highest US city in America, which is not really in America, but it is classed as America, is Honolulu. And that came in 25th. So there were 24 cities ahead of any city in America, and Melbourne came in third. No. Could you believe it?
I could. Yep. Better than Sydney.
No.
Well, only just better than Sydney by. How would you?
It's subjective, isn't it?
Subjective, is it? Subjective. Well, so Don. I was just looking at. Did you say? Go on. Say something else because I was just lost track of what I was doing. Then
I'm looking at his
notepad, and I've crossed all my little.
He's got no more topics.
Except I've got to write down the 13th of July Rosebud Hotel.
So the only topic you brought today was about the Skewbald horse, which you were having a conversation off mic to Fiona Byrne, who was over there, and it went nowhere. What was the point
Because you didn't like to take it anywhere. If something doesn't appeal to you, you don't take it
I'm
anywhere.
appealing to you now,
No,
Don.
no, you're
What was the point of saying that there was a two-toned
You're
horse?
very self-centred.
What was the point of saying there was a two-toned horse that was a thoroughbred that came last in a race? What is the point of that?
It is I tried to tell you it was unique.
Unique?
Unique.
Unique. Yep. Well, why is it unique that you don't have two-toned horses?
Because you don't have two-toned thoroughbreds.
I know this is a silly question. Why don't you?
I do not know. It's got something to do with their genetics. I do not know.
Something so when the sperm goes into the mare, if it's
a throw. Obviously, it's a throwback years ago to something, and it's surfaced in this particular horse. The genetic. It's
like an albino.
Yes, it did look a little albino-ish.
But it ran last.
It did, so it's no good.
So they
mightn't have been a thoroughbred. Might have just been a horse.
It could have been. You're dead on. There's no reason
Might have been
why it's got to be a thoroughbred.
Horses that pulled the brewery truck round for Carlton United. Clydesdales, yeah.
Yeah, what about them?
Can they run?
No, they can't. No, they're bred.
They're
heavy horses.
How'd you be been entered to Clydesdale in the Melbourne Cup? That'd be good. They're offering to pull the whole starting mounting structure down as it jumped out of the gates. It'd run through the stand, maim about 50 people in the stands. But geez, it ran well. They couldn't stop it. They had to get a bulldozer to freaking hold it back. All right. So now, Don, have you got any other?
Nothing.
Peter, have you got anything you want to ask Don?
I'm just looking forward to our guest.
I tell you what I want to ask you. This is just finally.
Can I have a look at that?
Just
invitation?
finally on the Hall of Fame. I can't see their names on here. Why wouldn't Phil Carman be in the Hall of Fame? I asked Dennis Marshall that and he said because he headbutted Graham Carberry or something. Well, that wouldn't stop you from being in the Hall of Fame.
You've got to be nominated.
Well, why wouldn't he have been nominated? He played 200.
It's subjective.
But Don, he's been out of the game for 20,
It's
30.
very subjective. Why doesn't Bert Mills from Hawthorn? You don't even know who Bert Mills is.
That's correct.
Why wouldn't Bert Mills get in from Hawthorn?
Because I've never heard of him.
He was a star back in the 30s, yet they trot out somebody from the 1900s in South Australia.
Yeah, and that man, Mr. Lay.
Ruckman.
But he was considered a great player.
He may have been a great player, but why don't they consider others? It's very
I'm
subjective.
asking you, why didn't they consider? Why isn't Phil Carman considered? Or Carl Dittrich?
Carl Dittrich is in.
Is he?
Yep.
I couldn't see his bloody
They couldn't
name
shut
on
him
there.
up on the night.
Oh, couldn't they?
He was thanking everybody.
Well done. All right. Well, why isn't Phil Carman? I couldn't see
Is
Phil.
Rex in there in the media? In the media section?
Well, your
No.
mate, Bruce McAvaney.
Yeah, he got in.
He got in. Yep.
When Rex is Rex in the Hall of Fame?
Well, no, I say, would Rex be in the Hall of Fame under the media
No, he's
section?
not. He's not in the
Harry
media.
Beitzel?
Yes. Harry Beitzel. Yeah, I can tell you. Read him out if I can read this.
Okay,
writing.
from the media.
Yeah, the media. Jesus,
Ron
small
Casey.
writing. Jesus, that's small writing.
From the media.
Jack McMurray.
He's an umpire.
Well, I'm just telling you.
He's an umpire.
It's got media. Jack
Okay,
McMurray.
keep going.
Fuck you. Ian Robinson.
Umpire. Umpire.
No, you're quite right. What
No,
have you said
Robbie.
there?
That's Robinson.
Oh, Robertson.
Robertson
That
was
sound
a
like faulty
commentator.
towels. Ian Robinson is a
Umpire.
he's in the
Give me-
media.
He's not.
What that? The people who are Hall of Famers under media. I'm
Give
reading
me
it.
a here.
Well, you won't be able to read it.
I will. I've
All
got
right, will you read them out? Go on. Here's some glasses over here.
umpires, media.
Yeah, media.
He can't see it.
Norman Banks, Harry Beitzel, Alf Brown, Hugh Buggy, Ron Casey, Tony Charlton,
Yeah,
Jeff Christian, interstate reporter,
yeah.
Dennis Cometti. I can't read that one.
Gives-
Peter
Simonovic?
DeLay.
No.
No, is there somebody DeLacy?
No, I don't know.
And Reginald Wilmot.
Was I reading the
Reginald
wrong?
Wilmot. Now,
Was I
where-
reading the wrong ones?
Why doesn't Harry Beitzel's there?
He's in
isn't he?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, Barrow. Rex should be there.
Was I reading the wrong ones?
Yes. You were reading the umpires.
Well,
So it comes under pioneers, administrators, umpires, and media. You were reading under umpires.
why isn't Phil Carman?
That's a good point.
He
But why
played in
hasn't-
4 clubs. He played 250, 40 games.
Oh, he didn't play that many.
Yes, he did, didn't he? No. He played 100 and
I reckon
something.
he'd struggle to get it 200.
Well, he played for 4 clubs, and he played 100. He played for Collingwood for 140 of them, and I think he got over 200 with the other 3 clubs he played for. So anyhow, Don, the silence is not what this is
not
about.
gold.
So
Tom Lay, I'm just reading your little notes here.
Tom Lay, yeah, that's right.
He was the ruckman from South
He
Australia.
was, and you said that no one had ever heard of him.
No, they hadn't.
Anyhow, Don, this has been good. We're going to stop now. Any final thoughts about piebald horses or anything else that you haven't brought one topic in today? Peter came down to watch this in action, and
He's
he thought
speechless.
he's speechless. He came down to see if
He's
you
gobsmacked.
possibly bring anything to the table. I keep telling him Don brings nothing. He's done nothing for 4 years. You can't blame him that this is no good because he's done nothing. And Peter said, "No, I'm sure you make this up, Sam. He will have notes there on his little pad. See those things he's trying to untangle, Peter? That's
can't
all
get it.
he
He's been
does the
doing that
whole
for
day.
weeks.
Just tries to untangle those.
These came from Barney McCusker.
Yeah. Now we haven't heard from Barney lately.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Or has he got anything worthwhile to say? What did you get broadcast?
No, he's doing well. He's back working, Barney. They've pulled him out of retirement. He's got the ducks and drakes, but he's still operating.
He's got the ducks and drakes. He hasn't got the shakes.
He has. He's
not
shocking.
If he's, not if
You
he's a-
wouldn't touch him with a barge pole.
No, don't say
Or let him
that, Don.
touch
You can't say that he's got the DTs if he's a surgeon. He'll end up taking your pancreas out when he's meant to go for your liver. So don't say stuff like that, because I know you say it tongue in cheek, but when he does a job, then he botches it, people will say, yeah, well, he was no good. Don said he had the DTs. So you can't say that shit, Don.
Well,
you
he's
fucking
bloody
idiot.
75.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, you're starting to go downhill, aren't you? They've pulled him out of retirement. He retired. He wanted to get out, but they've kept him in.
All right, well, anyhow, John Locko's over here. He's brought in John Van Wisser, and those 2 boys, along with Fiona, were at the Rex and Sam show out at the Veneto
Who?
Club. Johnny Locko and Johnny Van Wisser.
John Van Wisser, he's as brown as... It's the middle of winter and he's in a T-shirt.
And we'll ask him. We'll ask him.
I'm going to ask him.
We'll ask him why he's brown and
I
why he's
think
in a
he's got a
T-shirt.
problem
You won't
upstairs.
believe. You won't believe
I hope.
the training he does. Well, anyhow, we won't preempt this. But if you've got any questions about the
Hey, there's
Veneto
a car
Club,
in
Johnny
your car
Locko.
spot.
What?
Hey, you better get off. Sign off quick. They're in your spot.
Who is?
That car.
The learner.
Quick, close this
Not
down.
It's not in our spot. Anyhow, thanks a lot. All right, here we go.
Press that button.
You did nothing today. I'm really disappointed.